If you're going on Google Scholar, downloading 100 PDFs, reading them one by one, and then manually searching for a research gap, then you're stuck in the decade-old strategy of doing literature review. We are now in the AI era, and this is not how we do literature review anymore. Today, literature review is all about defining the scope, searching for papers strategically, identifying the main themes, comparing studies, and then zeroing down on a research gap. What took 6 months earlier can now be easily achieved in 2, with more clarity, precision, and far less overwhelm. So if you want to learn the exact literature review workflow step by step, then make sure you watch this video till the very end. Hi everyone, I am Neha Agrawal. I'm the founder of WiseUp, and in this video today, I'm going to share with you the modern literature review system that every undergraduate, master's, and PhD students should be following. So without further delay, let's get started. The first step in modern literature review workflow is to clarify your topic. AI search engines no longer work on basic keywords. They respond to context. So the clearer and more specific you are about what you're trying to understand, the more precise your search results are going to be. For example, instead of simply typing social media and mental health, think about what is the focus group of your study. Are you going to look at working professionals or adolescents? What is the outcome you're looking for? Is it anxiety, depression, academic performance? And is your study going to be on long-term impacts or short-term effects? Giving clarity about these factors will help you in defining your problem better, will give you more focused search results, and you will spend lesser time mindlessly going through irrelevant papers. Now, once you have clarity about the topic, the next step is to find literature. And instead of using the traditional Google Scholar, we now use modern AI search engines like Consensus. On Consensus, when you type a research question, it goes through millions of research papers to find the most relevant evidence-based answer for you. Let me show you now how it works. So now I'm on the Consensus website and I'm going to type my research question. Does social media impact mental health of adolescents? I'm going to go for the pro search. There are 3 options: quick, pro, and deep search. So I'm going to go for the pro search option. And then under filter, I'm going to choose 2 filters. First, I'm interested in getting the most recent results. So I'm going to choose this option of past 10 years. And under journal rank, which tells me what is the quality of those journals or where those papers are published in, I'm going to choose Q1, Q2, Q3. There are many other filters as well, like you have open access filter that will give you access to the free PDFs that are available, methodology, field of study, and countries. But for now, I'm going to choose only these 2 filters. So filters help you in getting much more targeted search results based on what you're interested in. So I'm going to apply these filters and then I'm going to hit search. So now if you see, Consensus has come up with the result. First 2 lines, it is giving me the answer to my research question. So I'd asked, does social media impact mental health of adolescents? And Consensus is telling me that while social media is linked to adolescent mental health, effects are generally small, mixed, and highly dependent on how it's used. So here if you see, it is telling me that 10 studies do say that yes, social media impacts mental health. 1 study says the result is like mixed, and 6 studies say that social media does not impact the mental health of adults. So this Consensus meter can be very useful in understanding what is the overall research opinion out there about your topic. How many papers agree, how many papers disagree, or whether there is a mixed opinion on this. After that, if you scroll down, it also gives you more information about the topic in the form of a summary. And here, if you see, it has all the citations clearly mentioned. So this also gives us the confidence that whatever information Consensus is giving us is all backed by literature, all backed by scientific evidence. And if you see here, the tick marks here show that full text of all these papers were referred to as well. Now, if we scroll down further, it also gives me the list of papers where it has pulled the information from, which can be really useful. So overall, by doing this simple search on Consensus, I now have much more clarity about what is the overall research direction in my particular field. So instead of downloading 50 random PDFs to get a gist of the field, A simple search result on consensus has given me a much better understanding of what exactly is going on in my domain before I deep dive further. This step itself is a huge time saver and can easily save you a few weeks. Now, once we have the gist of the field, the next step is to shortlist relevant studies. So for that, based on the list of papers that we had identified, we can now dig deeper into them. So a great feature on consensus is these tags, which immediately tells us whether a paper is important to us or not. For example, if you see it has meta-analysis, rigorous journal, highly cited. So this tells me that yes, this is one of the most important papers of my field and I should definitely deep dive further into it. Also, if you see, it has these open lock PDF option. This means that there is a free PDF available for this paper and I can actually access it immediately. So I can save this paper and then I can go through this paper in more detail. Another thing that I can do on consensus is that I can directly talk to a paper as well and ask questions. So here what I can do, the same paper that I had downloaded, I'm going to attach the PDF here. So if you see, the paper is now attached and now I can ask questions directly to this PDF. For example, I can ask, what is the impact of social media on the group studied in this paper? Okay, so can you see, consensus is just focusing on this paper and then giving me the result. So similarly, any doubts, any questions you have about a particular paper, you can connect that on consensus and then you can chat freely with the paper. So in this way, one by one, you can dig deeper, ask more questions and build on your literature. Now, once you've shortlisted the relevant studies, the next step is to organize the literature and identify patterns. And this is also one of the most time-consuming tasks. Earlier, I remember we used to do this on an Excel sheet, put down all the names of the papers, title, authors, list down the methodology, key findings, limitations. It was effective, but it would take a lot of time to structure all the information properly. But now we don't have to do this manual work anymore. And for this, consensus has two amazing features. First is the consensus library. So here what I can do, all the papers that I had downloaded, now I can upload it onto the library. So I'm going to name my folder as social media and mental health. And whatever papers I had downloaded, I'm going to directly upload it onto the platform. So here I select all my papers, I click on open, and all my papers are now uploaded onto the platform. So this is a step that you can do if you've downloaded your papers. Now, another new launch of consensus is the Zotero integration. So if you have papers that are already saved into your reference manager, then all you need to do is import from Zotero. So here, let me show you the steps that you need to follow to connect your Zotero reference manager. So first you need to do is create a key on Zotero. After that, you need to paste your key here and then all your papers will be uploaded onto the platform. Once you've done that, you can now compare your studies by directly chatting with your library. So under sources, I am going to choose my library folder, which consists of 10 papers. And now I'm going to type the question, create a table showing the different social media channels used by adolescents. And can you see, from the library of papers that I had uploaded, Consensus has now pulled all the relevant information and displayed this in the table format, which is TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, and many others. So this step itself, from going from individual papers to now seeing them compared against each other, will help us detect themes, trends, patterns, and this itself is going to make our literature review much stronger. Now, once you start seeing these studies side by side and identifying patterns, the next natural step is to identify what's missing. So you ask questions like, what is still unclear? What kind of social media channels are adolescents mostly spending their time on? What channels are affecting mental health and which channels are not? So once you do all this analysis, once you ask questions to your targeted group of papers from the library, insights will start to surface, and then naturally you will be able to find a research gap. What earlier we used to do manually by going through paper by paper, making notes, can now be easily done by asking focused questions. So now comes the final step, positioning your research. By now, you already know what has been done, how has it been done, and what is missing. And now it's time to define your research direction and hypothesis. Basically, what exactly are you planning to do in your study to overcome the research gap? Maybe past studies focused on only one population, so you expand the study group. Or the past studies mainly focused on doing surveys, so you go for a more rigorous experimental study. Or the past research data had a lot of inconsistencies, so you go for another methodology and introduce better controls. This is where your novelty comes in. When you truly understand the field and the gap, your research hypothesis and questions will automatically become more clear and logical. And this is one step where I recommend not relying heavily on AI. AI can help you explore, AI can help you organize the information, but the parts that require judgment, critical thinking, these parts should come entirely from you. Basically, it comes down to three simple questions. What is missing in the research till date? Why does it matter to the world? And thirdly, how will your study address it differently? When you can clearly articulate these, then your literature review is complete. You are no longer just summarizing other people's work. You are building a strong and defensible case for your own work, and that is what modern literature review looks like. So everyone, that's all I wanted to share with you today. I hope this video has given you a clear understanding of what modern day literature review looks like. Now, if you wish to learn in detail how to use consensus and other AI tools, then you can join me for Mastered AI Tools for Research, a practical step-by-step course. In this course, I teach you from scratch how to use top AI tools with live demos. Identify the best ones based on your budget and research needs, and incorporate them seamlessly into your research workflow, ethically and without the fear of plagiarism, AI detection, or journal rejection. To know more, I've put the link and discount coupon in the description below for you. And now to get started on consensus, I've put the link and discount coupon in the description below as well. Now to know the top 5 AI tools for literature review, you should check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.